Okay, so I told myself that I wouldn't do any more Union Cross theories, but look at me now. Hello everybody, I am Sleek Buccaneer, and this video is just a quick analysis on one of the new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers and the art for Union Cross. I was really freaking lazy and didn't want to record my dry voice today, so I went with using this robot voice as an experiment. If you don't like this form of presentation, it's all good. I'll figure out a way to upgrade my presentation. First, I want to give a quick shout out to YouTubers Kingdom Crown and Shingles. Both asked for my opinion on the trailer and the trailers. Well, my response was lengthy and I apologize for that. It did have a lingering theory in there that I wasn't sure was 100% possible. However, after a tiny bit of research, I'm a lot more confident about my theory now. We'll kick this off by looking at the exchange between Ventus and Sora. So, let me just warn you guys. I hate when time travel is used as a mechanic in a story. There are only a few shows, movies, games, and even comic books that I accept that use time travel at all. That's because those forms of media have stories that revolve around a character that uses time travel or that centers around time travel. Let's take a look at what young Xehanort said in Dream Drop Distance. He's been grabbing different people at different times to serve his organization in the future, correct? One of the key things you need to understand about time travel is the version of the person you're grabbing. Let me explain. The last thing that Ventus should remember is that Ventus vanquished him and the Keyblade willingly to protect Terra and Aqua. When you see Ventus again, he's trying to reunite with Ventus once more. Why? This could mean one of two things. 1. Ventus was pulled out of his time before he died. 2. Ventus represents something more for Ventus. When I last spoke to Kingdom Crown, I told him that Ventus needed Ventus for something. I'm proposing that same thing to you all right now. Ventus does not represent the darkness inside of Ven's heart. He represents concealment of the truth. Darkness covers many things and the truth is one of them. Now, let's look at Ventus in the newest Union Cross art. I did a bit of research on his sitting position, head tilt, posture, and facial expression. Ventus is seen folding his arms and looking down to the lower left corner or right if you prefer, with a slight smile on his face. Here's what's interesting about that. Folding your arms can mean two things. 1. You could be on the defensive. 2. You might disagree with the opinions and actions of the people you're communicating with. Alright, so Ventus doesn't agree with something. What does that mean? Well, the last update we saw for Union Cross was the first task of the Dandelion leaders. Ventus didn't seem to know what he wanted to do like the others, but the folding of the arms could mean that he did know what he wanted to do, but that it was something different as opposed to creating pets. However, this also could lead to a future update where an argument stirs among the leaders, and Ventus shows that he doesn't agree with what happens in that argument. Since not enough can be said about just the folding of his arms, let's look at the direction he's facing. He's tilting his head downwards, right? Well, this position could also mean several things. 1. It could be indicating that he's hiding something. 2. It could be conveying to others that he's trying to keep his distance from someone. 3. It could be showing disbelief in something. Lastly, he could be thinking to himself. That's a lot to take in. What about the slight smile? It looks like a dampened and a turned away smile, in my opinion. The dampened smile typically means one is concealing the extent of his positive emotions, while the turn away smile gives off either an approachable disposition or that the person is avoiding something. Putting the three things together, it seems as though our Ven is more than likely hiding something. I say he's hiding a truth, and that Ventus is the physical representation of what he's doing and not what's in his heart. It just makes more sense to me, and it takes what Nomura said into context. The positions are important. What truth is he hiding, though? It's hard to say right now, but it could be a foreshadowing of an argument that separates the Dandelion leaders and kicks off the events to come. We don't know, but I end my case and my part of that theory here. Now, let's look at the ever-beautiful Lauriam. Most people believe that Lauriam is the graceful assassin who killed Strelitzia. It's actually hard to say who might have done that, and I won't add into that here. I'm going to instead have us revisit what I said about young Xehanort and his time traveling. Let's assume that each member in the organization joined about 287 days, a bit less than a year after the other. Xemnas is first, of course, and we continue on and on. Somewhere around 2 years had passed before the organization was complete, so Lauriam spent around 2 years being number 11 in Organization 13 before moving on to Castle Oblivion. This is an assumption. Don't take my word for it. This, to me, is crucial to note because that means Lauriam had planned to overthrow the organization for close to a full year once Roxas enters the picture and everyone learns about Sora for the first time maybe. The problem with young Xehanort taking Lauriam to join the organization is not really just picking him to join it, but really it's the version of Lauriam he's picking. The one before Roxas enters the picture or after. I say that Lauriam plotted a mutiny for almost a year, but it could have been a shorter time than that once Roxas comes in. It's hard to say and I don't really know, but the Lauriam in the new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer doesn't seem to be the one that plotted against Xemnas. That version of Lauriam seems to be the one before Roxas joined or before the plan was formed. That actually troubled me a lot when I first saw it. Now knowing most of the plot for Kingdom Hearts, it seems that Lauriam lived out a full life before becoming a nobody. He's not an old man, so I don't mean a full life to old age, but I mean that he grew up and matured to a young man. What worries me is that he's trapped in this time loop of being a nobody still. Even though Sora defeated him, he should have been restored to his proper, completed self, but it doesn't seem like he was. He rejoins the organization he wanted to overthrow, so that means young Xehanort took a version of Lauriam that was before the planned mutiny and incomplete self. Whether that's possible or not, I couldn't say because time travel sucks that way, but I do know it should have been impossible for young Xehanort to even come into contact with a completed Lauriam because he lived out a life hundreds of years prior to even birth by sleep. Hence why I say Lauriam is trapped in a time loop, and if he had a mission in his adult life to protect new Keyblade wielders or train new apprentices the way the foretellers once had, then he can't complete that mission and he effectively becomes a lost master. A lost master that is not a foreteller we're familiar with. Hence the story of the Lost Masters wouldn't be about the foretellers at all, but about the new Dandelion leaders. Okay, that's a lot to swallow. What about his position in the picture with the new art? Why do you think Lauriam had a mission as an adult Dandelion leader, Buccaneer? Let's take a good look at the new art again. Lauriam's position is crucial to proving this theory of mine. He's standing straight, which exudes confidence. He's looking forward at the dandelion in his hand, which means he's focused on them, and he's smiling with more happiness than anything else, like he's pleased with his new role and mission. Alright, let's look at his hands. His hands closely resemble the protecting Buddha. This version of Buddha has his right hand raised like Lauriam does, and his left hand stretched outward. The raised right hand means to shield someone or to help one overcome fear. The left hand means courage or to protect another from fear, anger, or delusion. Lauriam also isn't holding the dandelion in an aggressive manner. In fact, he's holding it like one would a pencil or pen. A tool one uses to sign laws or even write proposals for the greater good. Therefore, Lauriam as a dandelion leader is going to be more focused on protecting the dandelions. His position shows to me that he's a protector, a guardian, a political figure. That's the complete opposite of what we've seen from him thus far. However, like with Ventus, it makes more sense to me. I already had a theory that Lauriam was one of the most likely candidates to have the Book of Prophecies that the Master of Masters wanted to pass down. Now, I'm a little more sure about this. Unfortunately, because Ventus is indicating that a disagreement is on the horizon, I wonder if Lauriam is the cause of that disagreement. He doesn't seem to be a visionary yet, and he hasn't tried to fight for leadership either. Ephemer's word has been the law up to this point, so it's hard to say. I do hope that Lauriam is actually a protector of the dandelions, though. That would be an exciting twist, and I'm down for him being a sort of mentor to other Keyblade wielders. Well, guys, that's all I'm going to present. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Feel free to like the video or even dislike the video. You don't have to subscribe to me. I'm more interested in your thoughts on the matter. Maybe I'm too much of an out there theorist. Regardless, you guys have a good day. I've got job applications to fill out. Take care.